I've written down some questions or topics, and I'm going to see what we come up with and see what you guys are interested in tonight. Seems like a good one. What is the truth? Who is in charge? So I'm going to start this by saying that, meditation is about letting go. In the deeper sense, it's, at the beginning, it's about learning how to focus the mind, to still the thoughts, and be able to be present in this moment without your thoughts taking you away from this moment and the experience of this moment, the depth and the aliveness of this moment. And there's a little bit of a rigmarole in the beginning when you're first learning to do that. It seems like, oh, there's all this stuff you got to do. You got to sit down and, keep your spine straight and learn some kind of a technique to focus your mind and all that stuff. We'll get into a technique or two on that. But, the silence that you can become aware of in meditation, in deep meditation, is really the awareness of your life force, the fact of your aliveness. This might be a way of saying that. And that vitality, or that makes you alive, that awareness of here and now in this body, in this experience, it truly is not something that you're in control of, in this moment. There's breath happening, your heart's beating. Hope probably you had some clean water today and some clean food today, and you have some kind of shelter probably. Just as basic factors that are required to support life, those are probably there for you. But your actual aliveness, who is in charge of that? I bring this up because so many of us spend so much of our lives in fear, fear of all kinds of things, fear about the future that's usually based on the past, fear about security, safety, the safety of the body, keeping the sense of survival, as a primary kind of directive of the mind, being in charge of worrying about things all the time, about how, am I gonna be safe today? Am I safe right now? And why is that important? I just think that there's a sort of a liberation in recognizing that you're actually not in control of your life. When I say your life, I mean it with like a capital L. Like you, your brain, your thought process, you're not doing anything to make your body work, right? I mean, your cells are doing their intelligent function. Your systems are working. Even if you have some dysfunction in your body at this time, your heart's beating, I assume. You probably wouldn't be watching if your heart wasn't beating. Your the trillions of cells in your body, you're carrying out all kinds of functions without your consciously, putting any thought or control around that. The very vitality that's in your life causing that to happen, you, meaning you, your conscious mind, your thinking mind, this impetus that's always driving us forward and trying to direct our lives, that has nothing to do with the real life of your body and your inner being. And it's just really important to become aware of that. So naturally, you can become very aware of that by just stopping your thoughts. That sounds really easy. And, everybody says, how can I possibly stop my thoughts? My mind is just racing all the time. And I get that. So in the beginning of a practice, I think the most important thing is to establish a dedication to your meditation practice. Meaning, you want to just as like you might go to a gym and try to start a workout, discipline. There are people who can tell you the best way to do that and how to build up gradually. But if you don't show up to the gym, you're never going to get stronger, right? So initially, set a goal for yourself that you can meet and honor that. So I would say commit to 15 minutes every morning before you run out the door to do something. It's easiest to just do it kind of first thing in the morning after you just grab a quick shower, maybe some tea or coffee, and just sit down and, no phones, no TV. The less, the less thoughts coming in, the better. So, in the beginning, what I'm trying to say is that this practice itself, in the same way that a physical workout will make your body stronger over time, if you dedicate yourself to a 15-minute meditation practice every day and you don't skip it, the same way that you probably don't skip brushing your teeth in the morning, or you don't probably skip your shower, I could say to you, gosh, you really should brush your teeth every day. And if you didn't ever do that, that might sound like a lot to ask, but that's already something that you do, right? I imagine that you feel a lot better for it. So, dogs are natural meditators. He's just here, just relaxing, just being here. The practice that I'm going to give you is something you can do actually. Let's try this kind of a practice, which is just getting in touch with the elementals. Ideally, you could do this outside if you live somewhere nice and warm like California, but even if you're indoors in the Northeast on a cold January day, you can still do this. You're going to sit up straight, and when you begin your practice, you'll softly close your eyes, and the focus that you're going to have is on 4 things, and you're going to spend about, let's say, a little less than 5 minutes on each one. The first one is going to be for you to just become aware of air, of breathing, of the simple fact that your lungs are filling with air. Air is present. You didn't do anything to make it happen. We're just going to find that really natural breath. We're not forcing it. We're just being conscious of it. It's a vital force that's entering. And this breath is, it's like the empty space that we're never aware of in a way. It's always here. And as you're doing that, you're just breathing and just imagining that vitality is entering through your nose. And it's filling your body with the vital energy as it actually is. We're just going to become aware of that seeming emptiness that actually sustains you, that you don't control, that you've never controlled, that's always, always here for you. Silent, quiet breath that's always available to you. It's always feeding you. It's always keeping you alive. even if you're agitated, even if you're in deep sleep, it's always here. The next thing you're going to do is become aware of the earth. Ideally, you might look into a grounding mat, separate topic. But just be aware of our connection, a literal connection to the earth. We're energetically, from an electron perspective, nothing woo-woo, we are connected to the energy of the earth. And in a normal situation, our energy is always going to equalize with that. So, again, if we can be outside and have some part of our body touching the ground, it's easier. If you can't do that, a grounding mat is something you might want to investigate. For this part of your meditation, you're just going to become aware of gravity, of being held by the earth, being fed by this energetic connection that has nothing to do with you. In a sense, it nurtures you, you're connected to it, you're part of it, but your thinking, your desires have nothing to do with it. You're not creating it. It's just always there for you. It's always there. And for this, as you're breathing, you can breathe a little bit more into your belly, into more of a full belly kind of connected breath. The vitality is more coming up, like a tree bringing water up from the roots, up to the leaves. And then to connect that piece, then we're going to connect with, I'm going to say light rather than fire. You can think of it as sunlight. Again, the light is always there, and we are utterly dependent upon it for our life. Without the sun, there's no life. Creates the plants that we eat. Our entire food chain is based upon photosynthesis. We're part of that, even though we don't think we are. So in that connection to earth is bringing energy up from the roots of the tree to the leaves. The sunlight is showering, always showering the leaves in life force and in that joy. The leaves are multiplied and the tree flowers in joy. And as those leaves open up to the light and are fed by it and filled with love by it, it sends that energy back down to the roots. The roots can grow stronger and bigger, bring up more water and more vitality so the tree can grow. So there's that connection to air. Always present breath. Always in it. That connection to earth. We're always of it, part of it, held by it. Connection to light, to sunlight that's always here, that feeds all of us, always. And the sun is always shining above the clouds. It's always here. For this next part, we're going to connect with water. If you like that tree imagery, you can connect these elements through water by imagining the roots of that tree connected energetically to the earth. And that energy of the water that's always underground, like a wellspring. Feeding all of us, making us clean and new. The water that's always flowing, the water that's always there, creating this life. Our minds didn't create sunlight, or air, or earth, or water. They're here for us. Just to bring our awareness to what always is security. Naturally calms and heals the nervous system, reconnects the body with the natural innate healing and rejuvenation of being part of life on this planet. In all of that, there's no thinking, just becoming aware. At the end of your meditation practice, in whatever version resonates with you, it's always nice to offer gratitude. Gratitude for this life, this vitality that is here, that is your life. An honor to that purity, that essential nature that we are a part of, and we, even though we're always in it, we forget and we think we're this thinking mind running around having all these experiences, based in fear and running away from something, running to something, never really here. The elements in this practice are really about just being here now. And that's the truth. Silence is always here. Healing and vitality are always here. Presence is always here. You don't have to do presence. You don't have to do vitality. You can become aware of that by just giving it your attention, making it a priority to connect with it every day. I think if you do this for 15 minutes every morning, you'll feel a lot happier. Your body's going to get what it needs, and your mind will naturally slow down and calm down and get some rest. And then you can take that energy and clarity into your life in whatever way seems right to you. Well, I hope that was helpful.